There back my little blue star juniper. That's been a slow grower, but it's become quite bushy over the last couple of years, so it's slowly getting there. Here in the early summer I'm actually going to prune it. It's hard to see as it's quite bushy, but there are a lot of little shoots that I just don't need here. You'll easily find 3 shoots growing at the same spot, which isn't ideal. So really all I'm doing here is just going around and removing anything like that and maybe shortening a few things back. It is more of a tidier prune, but I guess it does help produce better structure in the long run. I have been letting this tree kind of develop its own shape really over the last couple of years, but I'll need to start wiring out at some point, but so far I'm happy enough with it. The general shape isn't too bad, it just needs some refinement really. Unlike most of my trees, the pot is too small, so I can't really complain that it's slow to develop. If I had the space I would have it in something larger and the main trunk would look very different now. But for what it is and what I've managed to do, I'm happy enough so far. It's looking alright in June, although I don't think you can really tell that I recently pruned it. I also probably won't keep those really low hanging branches long term, but for now they're helping to build strength and size, so I don't mind them. The new growth was always quite small and dense, so it's hard to see any changes, but this will be growing well here. It looks fine in August, and if you think there's big gaps in the foliage at certain angles, that's nothing to really worry about. A few pieces of wire will balance everything out, but that's a problem for another day, maybe this coming summer. In September it'll be slowing down for winter, but it's done well. Not much change, but this is how this tree goes. The changes creep in slowly, and all that matters is it's growing and it's happy enough. Then there's nothing happening over the winter. It doesn't change colour or anything, it just stays the same now. I'll just have to wait for spring and then we'll repot it. I tend to alternate the work on the tree. One year I work on the roots, the next the top. Makes the whole process much slower, but the tree doesn't get stressed out. Junipers are tough, but they're fussy. When you hack away a deciduous tree they don't really notice, but a juniper will, so you have to go nice and slow. So that's why I'm not touching it here in late winter. In April I'm going to repot it. I think it needs it. The pot seems kind of swollen, so I'm going to guess there's a lot of roots in there. It is in there pretty tight, but I managed to get it out. And yeah, there is lots of roots. Some white tips, which means it has started growing, so I might be slightly late with this repot, but I think I'll be okay, hopefully. Anyway, all you ice cream haters are going to be happy because I'm finally upgrading to this. It's some sort of cheap rice colander, so we'll see how it does. The fact it's full of holes should hopefully help the roots stay compact and not get too long. What you'll see here is exactly what's happened to this tree so far. The idea of the colander is that the root tips will grow out of the soil and through the mesh, and then as they're now exposed they'll die, causing more growth to develop closer to the base, rather than just keep getting longer and longer. So hopefully that happens. As you can see here, there's lots of roots, and junipers can be fussy at root pruning. So I'm not too happy about what's going to happen here, but it needs to happen. I might regret this, but time will tell. This tree is definitely going to need some time to recover from this. This is really drastic for it. But this is exactly why I need the colander, to stop this type of thing happening. After I raked everything out, I was left with this. And this tree is actually planted on a little rock, which you probably can't see here as I seem to always have no idea where the camera is pointing, and it's fallen out there. The roots are pretty bad. They're kind of 2 root balls. There's one where you'd expect it to be and then one like halfway up the trunk. And as a juniper, it's probably not going to be sensible to remove that amount of roots. So I kind of angle on the stone, and while it's not ideal, it does kind of work. You can sort of see what I'm talking about here. Potting this up was pretty straightforward, although it's kind of fiddly holding the stone in place while adding the soil and arranging the roots. and for some reason I decided to shorten a few more roots just before making sure everything fitted in. The amount of roots I've removed here is not good at all. I'll have to keep a very close eye on this over the next few weeks and months, as I wouldn't be surprised if it goes into a major panic, but we'll see. You'll also hear a lot about removing all the soil from a juniper, which I did, but I also didn't. If you look here, I'm actually just adding the same soil back in and very little new soil. Everything I removed is good quality soil, so I'm just adding it back in. I'm just kind of rearranging the soil rather than removing it, so I'm not really worried about that. The amount of roots removed is what the issue is. So that's dramatic, but hopefully it's for the best. And here it is now, still alive for now, and hopefully there'll be a part 7. Thanks for watching, see you next time.